What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea All Shade Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, Season 19, Episode 2 review. Don't forget, you guys, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time will be my interview with Love and Marriage DC reality star Ashley Silva. You do not want to miss this interview. It is so juicy and so good. Once again, it will be at 6 p.m. Central Time right here on the Color Me Pynk channel. Okay, let's get into tonight's episode. We pick up exactly where we left off last week with Dr. Ish talking to Lyrica and A1. You remember A1 got upset because he felt like he was taking all the blame for everything. He felt like he was taking all the blame for everything and that he was being unheard, and Lyrica was being disrespectful, cursing at him and stuff like that and getting hype. And Dr. Ish reminds them both that they will not be able to fix their issues in one night. So why try to give up? Because A1 wanted to go home. So, he, like I said, he just had to remind them, this is not going to get fixed in one night. This is what you came here for. It would be, silly to leave on the first night when we haven't even gotten started with everything yet. So A1 decides to stay and stick it out, but things are very awkward between him and Lyrica. So the next morning, Rich and Mariah are in their room and they're complaining about how small it is, and the room is smaller than the hotel room that they were staying in during quarantine. And I'm like, Mariah Lynn, we remember where you came from, child. You barely was scrimping and scraping to get a coin together when you first started loving hip hop. You need to be happy in any place that you were in. It ain't like the accommodations were trifling, and it wasn't like they had you in a shoebox. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it with the foolishness. And Rich, your greasy ass, just hush. Just be quiet. So Caston does not want to leave him and K Michelle's room. He's still very uncomfortable with talking about all their issues on camera because he's a dentist and he's not with the Hollywood lifestyle. And I'm like, but sir, you are a grown, able-bodied man with a brain who knows what you signed up for. If you didn't want to air your business out on national television, then why did you sign up? Why? Did nobody put a gun to your head and make you come on this show? You did it because of the check. So stop it. So Gangsta Boo says that Emmett's family always, calling him, interrupting them all the time, and that Emmett tells his kids all their business and stuff every time they get into it. And so now that has translated to the kids disrespecting her and I guess not liking her or whatever, which is just totally inappropriate. Your kids don't need to know the inner workings of your business, because not even just your kids, just your family members in general, because once you get to telling your family all the bad stuff, and especially if the bad is outweighing the good, that's all they're going to remember, and then that's going to translate into them not liking them, and then they going to start acting funny. He ain't going to want to come around no more, and it's just a bunch of mess. And it's not saying that you can't talk to your family about certain things, but not everything. Certain things are just off limits. So she tells all this to K Michelle when they sit down and have a whole conversation. So Dr. Ish calls everybody outside, and it is the rap battle challenge. But this time they are told to write a rap about 3 issues in their relationship. So Gangsta Boo and Emmett go first. They're both rappers. Her rap was really good, of course. And she says in her rap that he doesn't listen, that he needs to tell his mama to put some respect on her name, and that he runs from his problems. He also, in his rap, admits that he does run from things, and he says that, they seem like they can't move forward after being together for like 6-7 years, and that they can't communicate, and they always fighting over dumb stuff. And I was just like, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot after 7 years of being with somebody. All that chaos. That's just too much. So then K, Michelle, and Caston go up. I love the name Caston. I really like that name a lot. I'm going to have to use that in the book. So he says in his rap that she interrogates him and listens to other people all the time, and that all men ain't wrong, because K Michelle feels like basically men ain't shit or whatever because of how she's been done in the past by other men. She raps, and of course K Michelle's rap was really good. because if you've ever listened to her music or her mixtapes, you know that she has bust out a rhyme or two and she can actually rap. So in her rap, she basically just goes off on that nigga. She said a bunch of everything, and her rhymes was basically about how she a prize and he needs to understand her worth and what she wants in this fairy tale. It was really, really good. Mariah and Rich go up, and you know Mariah is a rapper, Rich is not. He's supposed to be a record producer. So her rap was cute, you know what I'm saying? She says that he's a creep, you know, he's with the infamous creep squad, and that he's embarrassed her on TV. His rap was, you know, very elementary. It was not good at all. He wants to trust her, but she's lied to him so many times that's hard for him to do. Kate Michelle in her confessional feels like Mariah shouldn't owe him anything, especially since they're not in a relationship. So according to Kay, if we're not in a relationship, I don't owe you the truth. I don't owe you nothing, basically. And her logic, it's questionable, because at the end of the day, when you an adult, you had no reason to be lying to nobody about anything. Just tell the truth. Like, it is what it is. Either you're going to accept it or you're not, because at the end of the day, we're not together. But so I don't feel like it's okay just to lie to people just because you're not in a relationship with them. I don't think that that's fair at all. So then we see Lyrica and A1. They go up, and you know they both write music for a living, so they both did a good job. Lyrica in her rhyme says that, you know, he cheated and showed the worst of himself to her. And he says that she plays tit for tat, and that, you know, he's horny and she's withholding sex. And it is just a mess, child. It's a mess. So after the exercise, normally the couples will sit around and talk about what just happened, but they don't do that. Everybody retreats to their rooms, minus Emmett and Gangsta Boo, who do want to talk about what just, you know, transpired, but nobody comes down to join them and talk. Mind you, Dr. Ish told them that for dinner that night it will be on him, and that they need to dress appropriately, and that it's going to be a very hot one. I agreed that the couples need to come up out their room. Like, I understand, you know, they're mentally exhausted, they're tired and all this stuff, but this is what you signed up for, you know, to talk to other couples, to gain insight, get advice. You know, you all are there to also help each other. A1 feels like he's unheard, and that Lyrica basically only cares about how she is being perceived, and they're not really communicating. They're not really talking to each other. They're both skirting around each other quietly, and it's just very awkward, and it's sad to see how they started when they joined Love and Hip Hop to where they are now. It's really sad, because when they first got on Love and Hip Hop, they were such a loving couple who rode for each other, who was ride or die them first 2 seasons for them. Then after that, all hell broke loose. And it's really sad to see what reality television can do to a couple. So Judge Toller and Dr. Ish sit down, and they're viewing the camera footage, and they're seeing that all the couples are in their room, and they don't like that, you know, because this is not how this program is supposed to work. They're supposed to be out, you know, talking and communicating and all these things, so they can then gather more information about what can particularly help their relationships. But Judge Toller thinks that they're all afraid to interact so they won't look bad on camera. So if they just avoid each other, won't nothing bad happen, which is a very smart thing to do, honestly, because you see, once they start interacting with each other, what's going to happen based off next week's episode. The couples then that night head to the dinner. The setup is really pretty. Everybody's dressed up. Gangsta Boo and Emmett are seated first at this couple's table with Dr. Ish. And he says that he will give them an entree that represents something one of them resents in their rap. One of them then has to accept responsibility and eat their words literally. So their word ended up being lack of boundaries. So they end up getting spicy curry. After discussing everything, Dr. Ish feels like they both need to eat it. Of course, it's hella spicy. It's hot. Their mouths are burning. They're drinking milk, which I find to be very disgusting. So I wouldn't have been able to do this goddamn exercise because I cannot stand milk. It's so nasty. Ugh. Disgusting. But Dr. Ish wants them to know that, he can tell them how their words hurt all day long, but it's more effective to show them through spicy foods, because if they felt the pain, they wouldn't make it hurt so bad, which is very, very true. It's a smart exercise to do, because you can tell somebody today you blue in the face that you're hurting me, this makes me feel this way, da, 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 da. But they don't fucking get it until you either do it back to them, and that's why people play the tit for tat game, which makes the situation 10 times worse. Or like you said, unless some type of physical pain is inflicted, people often don't understand what their words or actions can do to another human being. Dr. Ish also tells Gangsta Boo that she's going to have to let him, spend time with his mama without making it an issue. And he tells Emmett that he's going to have to learn how to put limits on his family when it comes to spending time with her. Gangsta Boo in her confessional does admit that she is very jealous, especially like she was like she'd get mad if he showing the dog more attention than he is her, which I think plays into her insecurities within herself, because that's just fucking ridiculous. And that is something 100% that she needs to work on. And he 100% needs to work on getting his family in check. K. Michelle and Caston go up next, and their words are dreams destroyed. She says that he was supposed to be her knight in shining armor. He basically tricked her, and he says that he doesn't meet her standards. They both end up having to take a bite out of a habanero pepper, and it's hella hot, and it just looked gruesome. Mariah Lynn and Rich go up, and their words is public image. They're given Thai chili peppers. His public image is, of course, of this notorious playboy who's just sleeping with one woman after the next. But Mariah Lynn says that he acts way different, behind the scenes. And at the end of the day, she don't want to share with nobody. She says that, he's made her look like a fool in the past, and she wants him to ride for her like she has done for him. And if he can't, then she gonna get the fuck out and walk. And then something she like to do. And I was like, you better come on with your analogy, Miss Ma'am. I actually find them to be a very cute couple. I just think Mariah is just so cute. She's just a little cute, probably a little pocket. Rich is greasy, like I always say, but I like them as a couple. I just don't know if he will ever be able to 100% do right by her, because he's so fucked up in the head. And I honestly think that she needs to be with somebody else, just a clean slate that will love and protect her and not make her feel bad about who she is and the things that she's done in her life. Dr. Ish makes Rich eat the Thai pepper. He feels some type of way about it because he feels like he got the raw end of the stick. He feels like he's always having to take one for the team. Lyrica and A1 go next, and he's allergic to spicy food, so they're given the word forgiveness and balut. And if you don't know what balut is, it's like a Filipino dish where it is fertilized bird, whatever. It was a bird that pretty much died or whatever, it didn't live. So they eat the balut. They eat the whole chicken, and that's a delicacy over there. They of course are very disgusted by this and do not want to eat it. I wouldn't have wanted to eat it either. A1 says that Lyrica makes him feel like a failure when she constantly brings up his cheating and all things that he's done in the past. And she asks, did he feel like a failure when he was out here fucking other women? That lady is mad, honey. She is scorned, and I don't blame her. Dr. Ish then gets on her about saying that, because he was like, that's not helping the situation at all. It's either at this point you forgive him or you don't. And she was like, I forgive him. But Dr. Ish says it's more than just words when it comes to forgiving someone. And I 100% agree. And it was obvious that Lyrica is not over what has happened, even though she tries to play it cool, like she over it, she good, she Gucci. But it's obvious that you still feel some type of way, and you're upset and you're hurt, which is okay. I don't feel like there's a need to put a rush on you making it seem like you're healed and you're all good. A1 ends up eating some of the balut. It was a tiny bit that he put on a spoon and chased it with some Kool-Aid or some shit. Lyrica is hesitant to eat the balut. K. Michelle in her confessional gonna say, girl, you went through worse than that chicken. This man done cheated on you with some real chicken heads. If you done licked on this sausage, you better lick that chicken head. Kay is so fucking stupid. I miss having Kay on my screen because she is funny as hell. Lyrica, however, will not eat the balut. And, people are a little bit disappointed in that because everybody else had to participate and do what they needed to do. And then she chickened out. So Judge Tola comes out and gets everybody together and says that the couples weren't listening to each other doing the exercise. And how are they there to get help, but everybody's sitting around in their room and not interacting with each other? And Judge Tola was like, she ain't here to waste her time. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, she gonna get paid regardless, but she don't want to be sitting there for 10 hours a day looking at them laying up in the bed. That's not what we're here for. So after the exercise, K. Michelle pulls Mariah Lynn to the side to talk after the exercise because she says that she saw a lot of herself in Mariah Lynn, with always feeling like she couldn't show how intelligent she was and she had to dumb herself down by talking about sex and her body all the time. And I think that K. Michelle has grown out of that, especially within the last few years. Mariah Lynn, accepts her advice, cherishes her advice, and, feels the exact same way. So then Gangsta Boo pulls K. Michelle to the side and says that she want to talk because apparently they need to rehash some things from 10 years ago when they were cool. So according to Gangsta Boo, she's confronted K. Michelle and was like, them girls that you was hanging out with that I introduced you to, I found out you was talking about me to them. K. Michelle was pretty much like going around in the world and I couldn't remember if she admitted it or she didn't admit that she was talking about the girl. I don't even know. But in her confessional, K. Michelle says that she did not come there to work on things with other people. She came there to work on things with her man. Like, this is not what she was here for. Rehashing old shit that happened 10 years ago. So K. Michelle then goes into Lyrica's room to hide from Gangsta Boo. Because Gangsta Boo walking around the house, Cam. I'm like, girl, what more do y'all need to talk about? What in the hell is going on? So K. Michelle has changed everybody in their pajamas. She then runs into Lyrica and A1's room, which I found to be quite funny because y'all don't even fuck with each other like that. Why would you run into their room of all rooms to hide away from Gangsta Boo? How about you just tell her, girl, I'm tired, I don't feel like talking right now. That's simple. But anywho, so she goes into their room and she says that, Buddha lost her damn mind. And so then Gangsta Boo finds her and she pretends like she was talking to them about wanting babies. Lyrica land on her stomach, just quiet, and A1 is sitting on the side of the bed. So Gangsta Boo thinks that she done walked in on this like serious conversation and she says that she feels bad about it. But then she gets to saying to Lyrica that, I've only seen you on television, but you are so pretty. You have such great skin. Now, I don't know if Gangsta Boo was drunk or not. She looked like she had a few at this point and just was talking. So K. Michelle gets up and pretends like, she was still wanting to have a conversation about her having children. So she pulling on A1 to pretend like, they need to go and talk about the situation. Meanwhile, Lyrica is telling Gangsta Boo and K. Michelle to have a seat so they can talk out their issues. K. Michelle then pulls A1 out the room and they head to her room where they're talking about, Gangsta Boo basically doing the most and being annoying. She doing too much. Lyrica, however, feels like that doesn't look good for another woman to be asking a married man into her room. And I agree, especially with the attire that Kay had on. You know, she had on her silk robe. He ain't got no shirt on. He just got his jogging pants on. Now, of course, we knew they weren't going to do anything with each other, but the optics don't look good at the end of the day. And like I said, y'all not even friends like that. Y'all basically been into it for years. So why would you pull him, of all people, into your bedroom to talk to you about some female shit? But they were in her room, and they both were just literally saying that, you know, Boo was doing too damn much. So Lyrica in her confessional feels like that A1 should have asked her first if, you know, she was cool with him going in the room with Kay. And she goes at the end of the episode to look for him because she feeling some type of way. And next week, that's going to result in her and K Michelle almost coming to blows. And this is why these couples were trying to stay away from each other, because they already knew what was going to end up happening. This also shows that Lyrica isn't as cool and as fine as she says that she is regarding him, because if she was so cool, if she was so over it, she wouldn't have gave a damn who room he was in. If it was really truly over in her spirit, and obviously she still had feelings for him at that time, to be mad about him going in the room with K Michelle. I wouldn't have really minded if they had a relationship with each other, like where they was like straight cool, that's the homie, but y'all don't even like each other like that. Now I understand it's been a minute, they came into the house, maybe she was thinking like, girl, that was so long ago, like who cares? But when it's two women, it don't just work that way, you know, like, and her and Lyrica got bad beef, so I didn't understand why Kay made that decision. But child, that's my review of Growing Up Hip Hop. Not Growing Up Hip Hop. Lord Jesus, I'm so sleepy. Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition, Season 19, Episode 2 review. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.